This is the fact that the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows for the woman to have her own sort of sustenance and wealth and so on should not be conflated with the way that, other things that your husband has a right over. And here it's not even the topic of your husband has a right over, but even like the topic of how you dress and so on, and it being conforming to your religion is of paramount importance, and you can't just ignore that either. So this sort of clothing will not be fitting for the Muslimah to wear, and you have to dress per the hijab al-shara'i. And your husband as well, the rights he have over you, including that you don't leave the house without his permission, unless it's, things that are necessary and customary and normal, should not be conflated with the topic of, your own sort of individual wealth and how you behave towards that. And so both from the aspect of the religious aspect of the dress code not being Islamic, and also the fact that the husband does have a right to prevent or not to prevent in most circumstances and the ordinary circumstances from her leaving her home, would mean that you would avoid this sort of job so that you can maintain your modesty firstly, and also maintain the order of the house in the fact that your husband determines where you can go and where you can't go, except in obviously things that are necessary. So if he turns around and says you can't buy milk from the corner shop, then that's a problem. But in things like, just going to work and things like that, then that does fall on him. And this is separate to the topic of your own individual wealth, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. The following question is, my husband wants to take a second wife. I told him that I will leave him if he does so. He says that getting multiple wives is right. He's right by Islam, and I cannot leave him for this reason. If he's correct, then why did the Prophet prohibit Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu from marrying a second wife, second time, when Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anhu was alive? The first part of the question we've discussed, the narration of Ali radiallahu ta'ala anha, there's a lot of discussion regarding. So some of the people of knowledge, point blank, just consider it to be weak. Others from amongst the scholars of Islam hold that it's something that was specific to Ali radiallahu ta'ala an. And so the topic of aslan, the anger that the Prophet ﷺ had towards this situation, it was because of the fact that the status of Ali radiallahu ta'ala anha to Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha to the Prophet ﷺ, and that which bothered her would bother the Messenger of Allah, and that which bothered the Messenger of Allah would above Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that relationship doesn't exist with ordinary mu'minat. And so you're creating a false equivalence. You're creating a false equivalence. And so this condition having existed between because if you think about it, this would quite literally destroy the whole element of polygamy. How many women are there that are actually fine with their husbands remarrying? It would quite literally mean, if anything that bothers a Muslim woman, then we can't remarry, then it would quite literally mean polygamy shouldn't even be, there's tanaqud between the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And that doesn't make any sense. And so either that this was specific to Ali radiallahu ta'ala, even if it's authentic, or that there was some sort of other deep reasoning that goes back to. But it does not have anything to do with you as a Muslimah. And Ali radiallahu ta'ala remarried after her passing. Fatima radiallahu ta'ala passed a short while right after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, and Ali radiallahu anhu remarried, which goes to show you that this was something that was specific to Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha. And so be sensible and approach this matter again with a level of fairness. And again, even if, for example, you have other concerns, and this is the deeper issue with regards to polygamy, I don't want to get into the depth of it, but most people, when they approach individuals regarding, I want to remarry and stuff like that, the issue isn't quite often, the ghayr of the woman alone. There is also other issues, like for example, the suitability of the husband. Can you really maintain such a relationship or two relationships? So there's a question regarding wealth, there's a question regarding this and that and all the rest of it. And that is really what should be expressed. And so I would say again, the issue really is not in, bringing about these evidences. This is not the discussion. The issue is with regards to, communicating yourself properly. What are your actual concerns with regards to this? And how reassuring is your husband regarding that?